Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast, Tech Connect with Center Tech. Here we discuss all things technology for small and medium businesses. So if you're running a small and medium business, this is your place. All right, in our episodes, we'll try and cover three themes, these being how using technology in a business can assist you to be more efficient, more productive. Two, how can it assist you to provide better service to your clients, improve how you connect with your clients, customer experience. It's something that can elevate your business, can give you a competitive advantage. So it's important to manage how you interact and how customers feel about interacting with your business. And finally, the last theme is how do you use technology to improve on your bottom line? How does it impact your bottom line and profitability? So in this space, we'll have professionals, IT professionals who've been in the space for a long time, digital marketing people who will come on. And these are people that come from our platform, if you know it, Center Tech, which is an online platform for digital marketing and IT services. So they'll come on the platform and share their experiences, share how they've sort of assisted businesses, and how you can connect with them and they can assist you in your business, right? Hi, everyone. Welcome again to Tech Connect with Center Tech. Another exciting episode. Today, we look at something that most businesses can't do without, right? Any business that you run, you do look at your network infrastructure, your IT environment, IT is a platform that enables our business, right? So for today, we've got one of the professional companies that we have on our platform, NetID, their expertise in IT. And we have the MD today. I'm quite excited about it. So Nati will take us through what they do. We'll hear exactly what they do and how they assist business. Welcome, Nati.
Thanks so much, Sipo. Thanks for inviting me.
It's quite exciting. I'm happy to have you today. I know the magic stuff that you guys do, right? Mm-hmm. Right. Maybe for our audience, just give us a brief of who you are, a little bit about the business and what you guys do.
No, thanks so much, Sipo. Once more, hi everyone. My name is Gosnat Nkosi. The company that I represent or I work for is NetID, which was founded by me. It specializes in the ICT sector, and we more into the networking, and that's the space where we play. Yeah. And we've been in this space for quite some time. I think it's 8 years now since the company has been founded. But personally, I've been in the ICT space for about 24 years now. Yeah. And the gray hair.
The gray hair tells it. The gray hair tells it.
Speaks volumes.
Speaks volumes, yeah.
Yeah. But what we do is we build infrastructure from scratch for different companies. It could be SMBs, telcos. We've done it for government a lot. Yeah. And I think in between, we also have supplied hardware and so forth, like your SITA tenders. Yeah. We drop in switches there and there. And and also we advise different clients within the space. And I'm passionate about it. If you speak about ICT and networking, it's one area.
Runs in your blood.
Yeah. You can wake me up anytime. Anytime. That's my space.
Yeah. I know you do a little bit broader than the networking space. You've brought in the electricity side. Tell us a bit about that.
Okay. I think one of the challenges that are there in running an ICT company, especially in the quadrant where I'm at, you find that your dependence is electricity.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know.
Yeah, you can't do without that. Yeah.
Now you find that we come and deploy a state-of-the-art infrastructure, but one key element is not up to standard, like your electricity and so forth. And slowly but surely, you're given projects and you're asked to put a plug there. Oh no, can't you put a DB box? Yeah. Oh, can't you do this? Can't you do this? And then we decided, no, you know what? Let's just fully fledged or rather fully go into that area.
Yeah.
And we registered as an electrical contractor with Department of Labor, and also we affiliated with a number of agencies within that space, even from your Polarasa, others know, others may not know. And also we are also PV Green. We've got our PV Green card approved. So we're not just trying.
You're in the space.
Within that space. Not only on the electricity side, but also solar, battery, and so forth, because those are huge dependencies in the ICT space. So that's how we've broadened up the portfolio. Scope, so I've got a department just focusing on electricity, nothing else. And there we do your electricity, your power generation. We've got a project in KZN where we're doing power generation. And some of the projects are here in Johannesburg, where we are looking at starting projects on the solar side. But I mean, when we talk power generation, we're not just limited to solar. We do hydro, we do your waste to energy, we do solar.
So it's a full spectrum now.
I've in the process of building this company, I've actually partnered with other guys that are dependencies, like if you're doing waste to energy, you need a good supply of waste. You need people that have spent time within that space. You need to know as well what type of waste, whether it's a general waste, hazardous waste, all of those things.
So you need people that specialize in that part of it.
And you partner with
collaboration that becomes important.
You partner with them. And our role is to put a plant that will basically be able to take the waste as a feedstock and generate electricity. Obviously, there's a lot of process. Like for example, in waste to energy, the process is called pyrolysis. When you're doing hydro, it's a different process, because you're basically using water as your feedstock, and then you push them into a propeller, then you generate electricity.
It's interesting when you talk of those type of solutions today. I mean, you look at even today, we still have areas in South Africa that are struggling with getting access to energy.
That's true.
But we have excess waste. Right. I mean, you put one, you don't get a 2, you get a 3, right? But that's not happening, right?
That's not happening. And I'll tell you why. I don't necessarily blame the government. This is a technology that has been taking time, and improvements are needed. For example, I think in South Africa, the first waste to energy plant was in Cape Town.
In Cape Town.
And now the challenge is the efficiencies. It needed more waste to run. So they started importing. So as technology improves, you're able to optimize your plant such that you can use less feedstock, generate more electricity. So I mean, they had started importing waste from nearby municipalities because the waste that they had could not generate the electricity they want. So so now, I mean, from the time they built the plant up until now, technology has improved a lot.
A lot more,
A lot. So now you use less waste and you generate more. And this is the time where everybody should be taking advantage, because I mean,
I like when you say they run out of waste, because that's what we need to. All right. So if we go back to what we want to look at and focus on, which is the networking part. I have this thing that I say, especially towards the end of the year, for any business, it's most probably the ideal time to look at your environment and say, am I still getting the optimum out of it? Am I structured correctly? Today, you're also talking cybersecurity. So this is an ideal time to do an audit and look at where you are, how can you improve, right? So my question would be then to you, the customers that you deal with, right? What comes out as the most pressing pain point, right? Which can be discovered through sort of an evaluation process.
Sure, Sipho. That question is quite deep, and is if I were to answer you, we'll spend the whole day. But because
it's varied,
yeah, exactly. Because issues differ.
Yeah.
But I'll try and narrow it into maybe what I believe is the issue. And I think within this space, we don't have an issue with the technology.
Yeah.
We don't have the issue with the performance of the technology.
Okay.
But we've got a serious issue in South Africa with the technical expertise.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
We used to have good guys who used to deploy networks that you literally upgrade without having issues. It's just one of those things that say, no, let me upgrade. I've got the perfect.
Yeah.
Whatnot. I've seen in my time switches run with dust this thick, but that thing is still running.
Still goes, yeah.
It gives you the performance and everything. So we don't have a problem with the technology. I'll still say that.
Yeah.
But obviously that is subjective because I know now there's different brands and people promote whatever they want to promote. Yeah. But we've got a serious issue with the technical skills.
Skills to do that, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. If you give a person who's not qualified to handle something, no matter how much that product can perform, it will not perform to its best.
Yeah.
Most of the networks and most of the things that I've seen now are killed or are shortchanged by people. Yeah. If you check now, you and I come from a school where you move into IT, you are taught everything.
Yeah.
I specialize in the networking side, being a network engineer for the longest of my time. But you give me a server, I know it. Yeah. I know the rate system.
Yeah.
I know everything.
Because everything comes together, it impacts one another. Yeah.
I did that, but I'm not specializing in that. Yeah. But the guys that come now, they don't know anything about the server. You ask about the rate system, they're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You ask about this, he only knows networking.
They specialize only on that part.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, guess what? You and I used to approach a problem from angles that are different. And I'm able to tell, oh, I've got that issue. Oh, I've got that issue. No, I'm able to tell all of those things.
Yeah.
Now that server needs dual cards, or that server needs to run on that. All of those things. Now what we find is, and a lot of companies are suffering from that, is people who specialize. No, I've done my part. It's working. Then they go.
Yeah.
We're missing those companies that a person comes, he knows everything.
Yeah.
He may not be a specialist, but he knows that, he knows that, he knows that, he knows that.
That helps even diagnosing the problem. I hear what you say.
Even institutions now, when they train some of the technical guys, they no longer do like us.
So it's specializing.
I used to do like 15, 18, 20 modules. And you find that I only specialize in 2.
Yeah, out of the 15.
Out of the 15. Yeah. But guess what? You still needed to pass it, 80%. So meaning that knowledge and that ability is stuck in your head.
Goes with you.
Exactly. Yeah. So when I move into a space and a person says, I've got issues in my network, first of all, you don't tackle any issues without network diagrams and everything and stuff like that.
If they do exist.
I don't want to mention one institution. Long time ago, they employed me as a network engineer. When I came in there, it's a big one. I don't want to mention this. But when I found people working, but there are no network diagrams. I had to spend like a month mapping the entire network, hopping from one port, hop to the next.
Yeah.
I ended up building my entire network. I had my own diagram on the wall.
Because nothing existed.
Nothing.
How do you solve the problem when there's a problem?
You know what? And some of the guys, that's how they secure their work. Because
you always need me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, always
exactly.
Need me. Yeah.
Especially those old madalas.
Some of us.
You can't get rid of me. I know everything. Yeah, exactly. He knows everything off by heart, by IP address and everything. So, that one is sitting there. Yeah. That one is sitting there and whatnot. So
and now that keeps him in the business.
Exactly. And I mean, I was trained by Standard Bank, and those are the guys that gave me a bursary to study ICT. So when I came back, I worked for the bank. Those guys are strict.
Yeah.
And their network, it's near impossible for it to collapse. When we're talking about 99.999, there you see it live for real, it's happening. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's multiple redundancies. It's near impossible for that network to crash.
It's a risk they cannot
Exactly. To such an extent that when you enter in certain places, it's like a vault. You have to punch in the code, do this, and wait for the door to open, like we're opening a vault. And there's an alarm. Teet, teet. The door opens slowly. And when you are trained by such institutions, and then suddenly you move and you sit on government network, I mean, the first time I left the bank, for the first time I logged into a switch, I won't mention the name as well.
Yeah.
It was a government institution that I was working for. There was just no password. I would just go in. Not just one, everything. I could go in and out of the net. I can change things. I can do whatever. No password.
People, I hope you are listening to this. This is like the biggest risk ever. Today you have these clever people who, cybersecurity, right? They can tap into your network and cause such havoc. So you can't have instances like that.
Yeah, still data.
You can't. Yeah. So I hope you've got your systems correctly there, right? So you raise the issue of skills, like you say. Technology is there. I mean, technology is evolving like nobody's business. Yeah. I don't think we can keep up with it. Right? And then the concepts of infrastructure as a service, software as a service, right? Especially on infrastructure as a service. Do you think that's something that can alleviate some of those? If I'm a business somewhere sitting and saying, I've got this on-prem system and I have this 10, 20 people managing it, how would something like an infrastructure as a service make my life easy?
Yeah, I like these new terms that are coming, and a lot of people hear, but they don't really understand what it means. I like infrastructure as a service, but it was designed, or it came to a market to address a financial issue.
A financial issue.
Exactly. Okay. Not a technology issue.
Okay.
Not a skills issue. It's there to address a financial issue. Instead of you owning something, I own it and you rent as a tenant.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like we grew up in a cast.
Yeah.
You build your own house, you build back rooms.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are tenants that are staying there, but it's your house.
It's your house, yeah.
Exactly. So in that way, that tenant doesn't need to build a house. They can actually squat there for as long as they need up until they
as long as they service that.
Exactly. That it's nicely worded, but to me, I believe strongly it was designed to address a financial issue. Okay. You do not need to pay $1 million to buy this software, but monthly you can pay me 10,000.
Yeah.
You understand?
And you still have access to it. Yeah.
Then you spare your capex and you run from your opex.
Yeah.
You understand? So now, as a business person or as a company, I'm like, instead of me buying a switch for 1 million, let me rather pay just 15K every month. They manage it, they keep it, and you find that most of the business, IT is not their core function.
Okay.
And then you do not want to spend more resources in the ICT space. It's not your core function.
You have other things to think about. Yeah.
Exactly. If you're manufacturing food or whatever, stick with your core function.
Yeah.
And infrastructure as a service works in that format, because then I come and I make a holistic assessment of your operations, what you need, requirements, and I even look into the future and I create a buffer, which are words that I no longer use these days. People build to spec, and after a year,
they must add.
You spend more money. We coming from a school where we were taught all of those things. So now, infrastructure as a service, I do an assessment, I do everything, and then I give you a network and I pay for it up front. You rent, or rather you pay me monthly. The infrastructure belongs to you, or rather it is dedicated to you and stuff like that. And then you
but you don't own it.
You don't own it.
You just have access and use to it.
Yeah, it depends. I've seen certain tenders where they say the infrastructure at the end of the term needs to belong, exactly, to be transferred to the client. So then you work around those things. But I mean, also infrastructure as a service are broad projects where you need to first also buy the equipment that the client has, because then they don't have anything that they can do. They're not in the ICT space. And then the second part is you deploy your own network, and then they pay you up until you're done. Software as a service, the same thing. Remember, we used to buy Microsoft Office. I don't know how much now if you buy the outright package, but I mean, we used to spend 6,000 or whatever, 3,000. But now you pay what?
Just pay that.
I mean, for my home package, I only pay like $800 for 5 people, and they give you one drive and everything. So I don't own the copy, but when the year ends, then I must pay again. So you understand? Instead of me buying the software for 5,000 or 6,000, I can actually own a fresh copy every year when they upgrade and whatnot. So those projects, I think for me, they are there to address a financial issue. Don't pay up front. But also, if you're offering that, it's a good business model, because then it keeps you having your inflows on a monthly basis. Because remember, before we used to sell, now I've sold that switch.
That's
and you paid me.
Then
that's the end of it. But that thing keeps the economy running, because now when you pay me monthly, I'm able to do what to pay the bank who has loaned me. Now I've got a good relationship with the bank. I've got a relationship with the client.
So
the money is a
good deal for both sides.
Exactly. The money is flowing because that's what we need. Even now in South Africa, we don't necessarily have an issue with money. We've got an issue with people who don't want to spend. Because infrastructure as a service, it's when you are now putting together a third party. If it was IT, I would say interconnectivity. You know, before it would be the service provider, who's the ICT company, and the client. Department of what. Or whatever company, or it could be Parmalat or whatever. It's you and them.
And the client,
But if the client says no, I want infrastructure as a service, now we are forced to come out of our comfort zone as a service provider now to look for another entity that's going to back you up on this, a financial entity that's going to back you up on this as you extend the same service. So I like it because it involves a number of people, and there is a flow of money from all angles. What kills the economy is when there's no interaction. Sure, and
when it doesn't flow.
Exactly. I attended Davos the other time, review in VETS. What they picked up is that South Africa is money, but it's not in circulation.
It's in hives.
Right? Exactly. If I've made riches, I'm deciding I'm just gonna keep it in one place. I don't like
this has been happening for far too long.
Exactly. I don't like the precedent. So I'm keeping it in one place. I would rather invest elsewhere, outside of the country. So that's what is killing. Money is there, but people are not releasing.
Are not releasing it.
Remember, the circulation of money is what makes it's like blood. If it's circulating in your body, it goes into your heart, into your
multiplies.
Brain, it carries oxygen. It's the same thing. What makes the country move, work, do everything is the circulation of money. Imagine you're sitting with 100 trillion and you're not pumping it into the system. It's there in the bank.
You're starving
it's
the
invested.
Economy.
Exactly, starving the economy. So the infrastructure as a service or software as a service, software as a service is even another point that I feel South African companies, especially developers, need to look into, because I feel we're giving enough business to companies abroad.
So instead of investing locally, we take it outside.
Exactly, because most of the software that we use, from cyber security to whatnot, mention one that's local. One. And say, no, it was designed.
Chips and containers
it was designed by Bongani in Tembisa and whatnot. Instead, when Bongani comes with some things like, yes,
you don't meet the criteria.
You like, does it work, this thing? Have you tested it? Is it certified? Is it what? But it's the OEM. Do you understand? And I've met brilliant boys, even in South Africa, guys that can design anything from scratch.
Yeah.
We are not pumping enough value into there. But I mean, we're looking at companies that design software abroad, in Ukraine, whatever, in the US, in India, and whatnot, and would rather support them and pay monthly. While those guys are doing nothing, they what they did was to design the software.
Yeah.
Now you pay monthly. In SA, there's not much of that. So yeah, but yeah, I wanted to talk about both of them.
I want to link something from what you've just said now. So I'm a company somewhere, and I'm looking at. I find infrastructure as a service or whether software as a service interesting, and I say, all right, can I talk to 2-3 people to see if they can help me? Right. One of the things that most of the time gets left out is that tripartite that you've spoken about. So me as a client saying, this is the service I want. You as a service provider says, no, I can do it. But do I know that you've got the financial muscle to do that? Because for you to take on my needs, and I'm not the only one. You need to have the balance sheet for it first, right? You need to have the relationship with the bank, depending on the size of the project, right? So financially, I need to be able to sustain that. Is it something that customers who want to move to the as a service thing ever think about, or they just think, no, you've got it on your portfolio, I'm good, let's go?
No, Sipo, I don't think customers even think in that format. But let me not paint everything with a negative brush.
Yeah.
There was a time where customers actually looked into that. If you remember IBM, IBM used to be a major part of ICT in South Africa. But at some point when we were transforming and changing, COJ started looking at other black-owned companies, and they're like, IBM, assist these guys to deliver. So now I'm leading you to another. I will not even call it process. I would say something that I believe in, which is called mentorship. We don't have mentorships. We are competing more than mentoring. If I mentor you, you're gonna be my competitor. If I mentor you, you're gonna excel. You're gonna,
you'll know my ways of doing things.
Exactly. And that is wrong. That is wrong, by the way. If we want to bring about a growing economy, we have to do mentorship. So I've had nice words like bring a girl child to work, bring a boy child to work, but those things are hardly supported. I don't even know whether it still exists or whatever the case might be. But anyway, coming back to the subject, I believe there's no mentoring within that space. Yes, there's incubation, but there's no mentoring.
There's no mentoring.
Those are two different things.
Two different things,
When I mentor you, I'm saying I'm supposed to handle this project, but I'll give it to you and give you all the backing.
The support,
It's not fronting. We are creating a plan that by year 2, you need to have staff that is qualified, certified. I'll make sure that I monitor that up until you reach that level. That is pure mentorship. And that is not there. So if you ask me, I think right now we're busy scraping. And things are so bad that COJ doesn't even think of that, or maybe Tswane or whatever. Very few people, if they are, and they're not supported, who think in that level to say, this is I'm just going to make an example. This is a company, and we know that company is big. But can we foster a mentorship here? Come put a company that you're going to mentor during the duration of this 300 million rands deal. We want to see another you here. We want to see,
because that's where real value gets created.
Exactly. Right now we're competing, and I mean, I know that even the 30% has been scraped. I think 2022 or 2023. Remember, government, they used to force.
That's not even going there. Not even going.
Now it's not mandatory. So guys are coming in, and also the BE component is no longer mandatory, and certain, the scoring of it doesn't make any difference.
Doesn't make any difference.
Exactly. But I'm not saying I'm for or against In fact, I very much believe in us being valued as a person more than the BE speaking for you.
Yeah.
The brains must speak for you.
There is a positive shift in that now, as that possible mentee, you need to think around what value can I provide.
Exactly.
Not around what points can I get.
Exactly.
Right? Because I think that shift is required. So as much as there's a negative side, maybe that's a positive that comes out of it. Right. Right. So I think you and I can talk until tomorrow. So maybe towards to the tail end of it. So now you're talking to prospective customers or people, or audience that are sitting out there and saying, these are possible things that I can look at. These are things that I can look at. What would your advice be to them to say, where do you start? What are the things to take into consideration? And if you sit across the table with someone, what are the things that you need to put across or expect out of that conversation? Especially, before I cut you, especially around, infrastructure design, the architecture of it. I'd like to think of it, the market is changing so quickly today that you need to be able to be nimble, right? When you sit at the end of the year and say, 50% of my staff now is going to start working offsite, right? Yes, that might be a strategic decision, but how does that impact that architecture, that infrastructure? Have you thought about that? Is it supported? So just around that thinking.
Yeah. I think this is what we discussed, I think, offline.
Yeah.
But I'll just touch on it a little bit. It's very much important for you to get the right person, the right skill, even as a customer. Even if that person won't do the work, but he must have complete knowledge and understanding of that. And I mean, I've attended many briefing sessions where this phrase, I'm sure you know it.
Yeah.
It says, no, you are the expert. You are the expert.
Tell us.
You tell us. How can how can I take you where you want to go, but you don't know where you want to go?
You need to at least have a concept of where you want to go.
Exactly. And the departments at that level, you need to have somebody very sharp who knows and understands.
Yeah.
And right now, everything is outsourced. When the department wants to go out on tender, they get a consultant. And then the consultant advises something. Whether or not that thing is right, we don't know, because there's no skill that can test that if it works. But the guy has been paid and he has performed his task, and then he goes.
Problems remain.
Yeah. And then the whole thing goes out into the public. And then the one who's responding, now he's an expert, and also he wants to enlarge the scope, and. So he comes in and says, that is wrong, but that you cannot mix with that, and blah, blah. But these things, that's what I'm saying. It boils back to that. And I know a lot of people don't want to hire skills. I'm saying, in your organization, if you love it, have one person internally that knows. He may not deploy or anything, but he may come during a deployment and say, that's wrong. That line is not supposed to be there. And when they are doing something, says, no, that's not the protocol. You understand? All of those things. So I think, Sipo, I'm answering your question, though I'm taking long.
No, I hear what you say.
You understand? You start from there. As a customer, you start from there. Get the right resource. If you cannot afford the right resource, then it's going to be tough. Extremely tough. Because ICT is the backbone of any operations these days. And if you can invest 10 million on manufacturing thin stuff, and you cannot spend 1 million in making sure that backbone is strong, you're done. And now remember, although I'm going off topic a little bit now, IT means a lifestyle. And people don't know that. The word IT, information technology, means a lifestyle, meaning that IT is taking over. Right now, we've got generative AI. When you start your car, it tells you how long it will take you to reach your school, to pick up your child at school, how long it will take you to get to the office. That thing is now integrating, reading your phone, reading your diary, reading your meetings, reading everything. To understand, it is improving.
And our dependence on it.
It's high.
Growing,
You need a person that can master that. Like what I normally say, that we go into robotics, but there's no association that governs that. Do you know how dangerous that is?
We don't have an association.
No, nothing. I can build something that kills human beings in South Africa. Or maybe let's keep this one. Maybe we'll start one. You and I will start one just to govern AI and let people subscribe and pay fees.
I mean, that's the scary part on how fast things are moving.
Yeah, exactly. There's no governance, there's no nothing, there's no association, there's no nothing. So as a customer, if you want to be sharp, you want to build a robust infrastructure, you don't want infiltration and whatnot, get a person who's very strong, who's going to be the backbone of your infrastructure.
Yeah.
That is the person who's going to evaluate what the consultant drafted and said that is wrong. Change this, change that, remove that paragraph, doesn't exist. Because also these consultants are lazy. They go to the internet and do a copy and paste. Now it's even worse. We've got ChatGPT.
Let's not even
how
go
to
there.
I secure an infrastructure.
Let's not even go there.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a great conversation. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know we can still go on, but well, audience, good people, you've heard it for yourself. Nat is available. You want to have a conversation. You want to see how they can assist you in your business. They're just a call away. You can go through to our platform. We connect you with them. You can search there. You can find them there. They are available at your request. And for today, that's where we end. Thank you for spending time with us. Keep well and keep growing.
Yeah. Thank you.